Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and the first ever 4-part series using glitter to create some fun art and craft projects that are easy enough that you can try them out yourself at home. In today's video I'm making glittery snowflake decorations and badges using oven baked polymer clay, and all the items I use will be listed in the description box below if you want to go and check them out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to make sure you don't miss out on next week's glitter fun, then please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as I upload a new video. Before we start though, let me just explain that on the morning I recorded this video I had a bit of an accident. So whilst running my daughter into school so we wouldn't be late, I fell over flat onto my hands. So please excuse the nasty looking plasters, but that's the reason why. What a wally. Anyway, I'm using the FIMO Polymer clay for this project, but there are lots of different ones out there, so you can use whichever ones you have. And I've got a large block of white and a small block of pale blue. I started out by cutting off a piece of white and began to soften it in my hands. On my desk I've got a piece of greaseproof paper, which is not essential but is useful when you come to rolling out your polymer clay, as it prevents it from sticking. Don't worry if you haven't got this though, as I have got another tip to prevent sticking coming up soon. If you saw my Poundland art haul video, which I'll link in the card above for you to watch if you haven't seen it, you'll know that I bought some wintry washi tape which I used to secure my greaseproof paper to my desk to stop it moving about. I'm also making use of 4 lolly sticks I already had at home, which I'm going to tape together to help with getting an even thickness of polymer clay when we come to rolling it out. I simply tape 2 lolly sticks together twice. Again though, don't worry if you haven't got lolly sticks, you can easily use something else or just guess at the thickness of your clay as you're rolling it out. So my second tip for stopping your polymer clay from sticking to your work surface or rolling pin is to use something like cornstarch on your work surface. Just sprinkling a small amount of this down before you roll out your polymer clay works like a dream, but if you don't have this you can use flour instead, but don't add too much or it'll dry your clay out. So with our surface ready and our polymer clay nice and soft, we are quite literally ready to roll. If you have trouble softening your clay, by the way, you can either put it somewhere warm for a bit or lay it on a kitchen tissue on a hot water bottle, or you can even heat it for 10 seconds or so in a microwave, but be very careful doing this and don't leave it unattended. 10 seconds is plenty of time, so don't be tempted to do it for longer. You can roll out your clay to whatever thickness you like, but I use the height of 2 lollipop sticks, which is about 4mm. If you find your clay is too soft, then you can also rub your rolling pin with a bit of cornstarch, or simply wait for the clay to harden back up a bit. Once the clay is rolled out, you can cut out your shapes, and I'm using these pretty snowflake cutters, which are really meant for decorating cakes, not cutting out polymer clay, but they were just the design I was after, so I had to give them a try. I did discover that the trick to getting the clay out of the mould was to first sprinkle a bit of cornstarch in it before pressing it into the clay, which helped to prevent it sticking. Now don't worry if you don't have the same cutters as me, you can use any cutters you have or simply cut out your own design using a plastic cutting tool. You could even make a stencil out of cardboard, place it over your clay and cut round it if you don't want to do it freehand. But that's the beauty of polymer clay, the possibilities are endless. Polymer clay also comes in a wide range of different colours, or you can even paint the white clay with acrylic paint after you've baked it if you don't want to have to buy lots of different colours, as it can get expensive. I just used 2 colours today, so once I've finished cutting out the white clay, I repeated the same steps using the pale blue clay. I found that peeling the excess clay from around the cutter before I pulled it out was the best way to get a neat finish, as the snowflake cutter was quite fiddly to manage, but once I got into the swing of it, they seemed to turn out okay. I did neaten up any of the ledges just with my plastic cutting tool, but I didn't fuss too much as they were going to be covered in glitter anyway. I made several of each size as I wanted to make badges out of the smaller ones, and since I wanted to make hanging decorations too, I thought I'd use the larger snowflakes for this, but needed to put a hole through the clay to tie string onto later. So to make the hole I used another cake decorating tool, but if you haven't got one of these, you can just use a pencil or pointed skewer. If you're using soft clay, you can even use a drinking straw. The last thing I did before baking the snowflakes was to use my Poundland makeup brush just to clean off any leftover cornstarch. And then it was time to bake, so I transferred the whole piece of greaseproof paper onto a baking tray and baked in the oven for 30 minutes at 110 degrees C. Once baked, your designs need to be left to cool down and then you can add the glitter. For this stage, I simply put some PVA glue onto a paper plate with a glue spreader and worked on one snowflake at a time. Simply spread the glue onto the area you want glitter on, and in my case all over, and then on a separate paper plate sprinkle the glitter over the design, and then place your snowflake on a third plate to allow to dry. To add the glitter, I just ended up sprinkling the individual snowflakes, since the glitter I got a sprinkly top, but not all of them come with this, so you can try putting a bit of glitter on the plate and then putting your design face down into the glitter. And I have to say, this has got to be the most glittery glitter that I've ever seen. It was really bright and sparkly. For the blue snowflakes, I repeated the same process, but decided to use white glitter instead, as I thought this silver glitter would completely obliterate the blue, and this worked out quite well. And by using the paper plates, it also means that when you're done, you can simply fold them up and tip any excess glitter back into your tube so you don't waste it. So once the glitter is dry, you may find that the glitter still rubs off, because that's the nature of glitter. It does have a tendency to get everywhere. So one thing you can do to minimize this is to spray your designs with a coat or two of clear varnish. Make sure though, if you're going to do this, that you open a window and make sure there's plenty of ventilation. But you don't have to do this step, it's really up to you. Right, once any varnish is dry, it's time to add the twine, string or ribbon. So I cut off a length of twine about 24 centimeters long. And then to attach it to my snowflake, I simply took a piece of twine, folded it in half, so it's about even, and then I put this loop going from the back of the snowflake through to the front. You then hold on to that loop and put those two end strings through the loop and pull to secure. And you can either leave the ends loose or tie them in a knot, depending on what you want to attach your snowflake to. And if you don't want to make decorations, then why not use this method to make nice necklaces? I decided to tie a knot in them because I wanted to hang them on my wall. Now, if you want to make badges out of your polymer clay designs, you can buy these little flat-backed pins from Amazon or any good craft store. You can even use regular safety pins and secure them to your clay before baking, using some of the clay to cover over the back and make it secure. With the pins I bought, I decided I'd need a stronger glue than the PVA I'd used for the glitter, so I used super glue, which you have to be super careful with not to touch, because you don't want to stick your fingers to your designs. So with that all done, the glittery snowflakes were complete. I had so much fun making this video, so much fun playing with the polymer clay and trying out different things to get the designs to work. So I thought they turned out quite well. I hope you do too. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, comment and subscribe to my channel. And if this is something you've enjoyed, please drop me a comment and let me know what else you'd like me to make on this channel. And I'll see you all in the next video for more glittery fun. Bye!